Yo, yo, yo. Welcome back to the channel. It's really late right now, so I'm going to try and do a quick update here on AMC. Um, give an outlook on the case for $50 this week and some of the information that I see going around there, but mainly focusing on technicals. I'm going to use an indicator that I remember people using, but first of all, I just wanted to take a real zoomed in look at the most recent price action going back to November 12th, I'm sorry. You can see that we clearly have here a Wyckoff distribution type schematic that played out here. I'd say it's probably something like this one that you see on the right side of the screen. So here I'll do like a curve because Wyckoff operates in cause and effect, right? So normally you'll have a distribution that's around the same like result as a following accumulation, for example. In my opinion, this is an accumulation schematic that's playing out here at the bottom. So I think that to begin the week for sure, and we'll label it out here. To begin the week, I think that like on Monday, and this is the minute chart, by the way, so take it with a grain of salt because obviously, it's only the minute chart. So, but I think that opening up on Monday, we should see some upside, like in pre-market for sure. And then, so yeah, I think that that's definitely like that. And then the schematic doesn't have to be perfect, but this one actually looks pretty good. Here is your phase A. Let me change the color of this to white. You got too many colors. I can just change this to. And then this would be like your phase B sort of section of the accumulation. Then you would have like a spring here, probably. And then test. And then this is like right now, I think you're at like a last point of support essentially before you get your markup. So what that's going to look like here, I feel like you're here now. And here's your trading range. So I think that what's occurred so far is you got out of here. Now, well, I don't know. Maybe you already did your LPS and you're doing like a backup right now. So yeah, I mean, regardless, I think that the result of this is probably that you're going to see pretty quick upside. And remember, this is the 1 minute chart, so it's going to happen really fast relative to like your experience in the market. But I do want to use this to try and see if we can then deduce if we're in a larger accumulation. And if so, where we are in that Wyckoff accumulation. If you're not familiar with Wyckoff, I recommend going and Googling Wyckoff method, and then just like type stockcharts.com or something by it, and it's gonna come up with a pretty good website that explains Wyckoff method in more detail. But I think that this is a larger accumulation, or maybe even a reaccumulation schematic. Let me take the after hours off because it makes it look a little crazy. But so let's see if this leads us to an even larger move. So I'm sure you can see the similarities here. You have your sell climax, automatic reaction, your sell test, this kind of retest region in phase A, or going into phase B, and then you have a sell test in phase B. Then you have this big distribution that plays out. So this is like you see this phase B section here. It's kind of like a built-in distribution that's like built into a larger accumulation, if that makes sense. So you have your distribution here. And then I would say that it's more like this schematic. So you have like an LPS phase in phase C. And then now I think that you're going and you're getting your last points of support here, sort of in phase D. That makes sense. And this is strictly just looking at it from a Wyckoff perspective, right? So we're not considering like the bull pennants or anything like that so far. We're just looking at Wyckoff so far. And so based on this analysis, and Wyckoff is basically a study of how institutions trade assets. So based on this, so far, I would say that it's pretty good confirmation that you're in a pretty bullish space with the stock, right? And I know that like there's a lot of fundamental stuff that flies around. Maybe you could draw a trend line like this. Remember, this is the hourly chart too. So like maybe if you went to a higher time frame, like a 4-hour, your touches might be even more clean. Yeah, you can see. So we have a pretty good uptrend going on here. I feel like, you know, and I felt like this for a while, that we're kind of towards the end of a Wyckoff accumulation on this guy. It's important that we draw our trading range here, and then maybe we can get a VPVR as well, so that we can take a look at the volume relative to price. Oh, we don't really have to do that. We'll be all right. So yeah, this would be like your sort of like your support zone. This is your resistance. I'll color them so you can tell the difference. So support, resistance, right? So yeah, I mean, in my opinion, I don't really see us. I think it would be kind of weird. This is a pretty strong trend. We had like a little bear trap kind of situation happen here, but this has generally been a pretty strong trend up until this point. And then also, so I showed you that really small accumulation. You could even make the case that this is another accumulation built into this, right? So you have your sell climax. We'll take this LPS off for a moment. Your automatic reaction, your sell tests, perhaps here. This is kind of that phase B distribution, remember? So here. And that would kind of be like this region of the chart. Yeah, and then you have like another sell test right here. And then maybe this one is kind of more like the spring test version, the other schematic number 1. In that you have like this where you kind of break this key trend line, and that's why like you have to kind of include the larger context whenever you're looking at these things too, you know. Because like this trend line, even though it's not within this smaller schematic that I'm doing, hold on, sorry about that. Even though that trend line isn't technically in this smaller schematic for the most part that I'm drawing, we know that it's it's key for the overall trading range of the stock, right? So we do want to consider it. And so this move here is really similar to a spring, and then you have a test here. And then this, I mean, this looks like a significant last point of support. And normally the last point of support is what that's kind of referring to is like you can normally find some horizontal spots where maybe this is a significantly traded zone. So you can see that support and resistance was found here. So maybe it got pushed down. This is like the 39.75 level. So yeah, I would say, I mean, I think that, and I haven't even gotten into the fundamental things, but it does make sense on the larger scale that we would see a pretty significant move up from a Wyckoff perspective. Let me remove all that recent stuff that I just did. Yeah, this too. And then remember, this was our LPS, right? In the old schematic. I just want to bring that back up. And then so yeah, LPS in phase C. If you're learning anything in this video, make sure you drop a like on the video. It helps spread the content out to the AMC community at large. So if you think anybody could gain anything from this will help them reach it, as well as watching to the end of the video. I appreciate you guys for sticking around so far. Hopefully you learned something. But anyway, yeah, so I'd say that this is definitely some last points of support that you're hitting here. And again, if we do horizontals on all of these reactions that you're seeing as last points of support, you'll see that they're kind of key trading ranges, right? If you just look at it along the trading path, you'll see a lot of times where it gets either it trades through it like a bunch of times, or it gets bounced off or bounced up, back and forth. So it just makes it a relevant trading range, especially based on horizontal volume, which I'll bring up here. I know I said I wasn't gonna, but okay, not doing it. All right, I guess I'm not using VPVR. That's okay. Yeah, so what I would expect, I mean, relatively soon here, we should be getting. Oh, there you go. Now I get 2 VPVRs at the same time. Thanks. Yeah, so basically this just counts volume by like the price point essentially. So a lot of times you'll be able to point at like pretty key areas based on the volume profile, based on like the certain price that it's traded at. But anyway, what was I gonna say before that popped up? Oh yeah, so we should be here pretty soon seeing a sign of strength. I feel like, right? That would be kind of the next phase in phase D. And then maybe we come back and we retest this range. And then we have like our markup. Now, how high the markup is, we haven't gotten there yet, but that's kind of how I see AMC at the moment from a Wyckoff perspective. I mean, I suppose you could see downside, but I'm pretty confident at this point. Let's see. Yeah, I'm pretty confident at this point that we've kind of cemented this level. I don't see any weakness in the recent price action. Like I said, I think that it looks more like an accumulation on the minute chart. So that kind of increases your likelihood that you're going to see that upside short term, in my opinion, not financial advice. And then another thing we haven't really looked at in a while is Elliott wave on the channel. So let's look at that briefly, because so the way that I see it from an Elliott wave perspective is you had a double bottom here, similar to the double bottom back here. And then I remember, well, you guys might remember whenever I started the channel, I was talking about how this was a wave 1, this was a wave 2, and then we could be possibly going into a wave 3. I don't think that's the case anymore, because of this double bottom. I think that this double bottom, I know it's not completely even, but I just think that this is a double bottom technically. So then you would be starting your wave count from here. So just to give you an example of what that would look like. If you're not familiar with Elliott wave, basically you have impulse waves and corrective waves. Impulse waves are like the driving direction of the market. So in this particular case, I'm believing that the market is going to be heading upward. And those impulse waves are 5-wave sequences. If I could ever find my Elliott wave tool, okay. And so an example of this would be like a 1, and then you have a corrective wave down 2, impulse wave up 3, corrective wave down 4, impulse wave up 5. And so what I was saying was this whole thing could have been a wave 1, and then a wave 2, corrective wave, and then we would be going into a wave 3. I don't think that's the case anymore. I think that what you've done here is a double bottom, as I said before. And so what I think is going to happen now is this was a wave 1, this was a wave 2, and you're going into your wave 3, impulse wave, and then a corrective wave down, and then a wave 5 up. And this isn't, I don't think this is going to be the extent of this move. I think that this is probably more like the overall wave 1 until a corrective wave 2, wave 3, 4, 5. And I'm not giving price points. I'm literally just giving you an example of what that move would look like. Yeah, so that's pretty much how I'm looking at AMC in the short term. I think that on a longer term basis, it's also possible that you have longer term accumulation occurring, just like on its life cycle. And that might sound a little crazy to you, but it's totally something that they do. BlackBerry chart, for example, is a 10-year accumulation. I'm not gonna show you. I'll just I have a video. I'll just go search my name and search BlackBerry. You'll find the video, and they clearly have been in accumulation for like 10 years. But anyway, What you could say is that this entire thing is kind of becoming an accumulation range, or at least here was an accumulation range. And then you had like your sign of strength where you broke above, back up LPS, and then you had your markup phase. So then this is kind of creating a reaccumulation, or even you could say that here, right? So from here was a big giant accumulation, and then you had your LPS here, right? And then you had a sign of strength above the trading range. So the sign of strength is when you break to the top of the trading range, like above it. And then this is like your backup LPS phase. So this theory would be that like since basically 2017, but primarily like 2019 through, it's an accumulation on Wyckoff. Also kind of looks like some sort of animal. But anyway, yeah, so that's basically how I'm seeing AMC in the short term and the much, much longer term, Wyckoff wise. I showed you Elliott Wave in the short term. And I think that's pretty much it. I mean, obviously everybody's charting this thing right now too, which is like I guess you could say it's like a pennant formation. Oh, I did want to talk about that. You also have, you could say that you have an Elliott triangle as well, which is also bullish. I feel like most everything on the chart, like on the longer term, is pretty much bullish in my opinion. Not financial advice, but that's how I see it. So Elliott triangle wave would be like your A wave, B, C, D, E, and then you would have your breakout on the other end. I can show you that too. Let me show you Elliott triangle. So yeah, this would be like an example of it. Wait, I did it. Oh, these people do it a little bit different. Oh, I mean, this works too, but hold on. Let me show you the one that I'm more familiar with. Yeah, so you have your entry. Okay, yeah. It still works the same. Whatever. You know what I'm saying? Because I was thinking the entry point. But anyway, A, B, C, D, E, so you're bounce off. So anyway, the way that you would chart it then would be A, B, C, D, E. You don't really have you're not going to have a touch point down there, I don't think. I mean, maybe you do, but I don't think you come all the way down here, do you? And then it would be like this. I mean, I guess you could. So I mean, I think everything else, like, so with technical analysis, I think it's really important that you use context, right? So like you don't go off of just one theory. You use a bunch of different theories to kind of validate your thesis on a bunch of different scales, right? And so I think that this Elliott triangle is going on, but I mean, and maybe you're drawing it like this, perhaps, like you're drawing it a little bit tighter, and then this is your E. But I think that the overwhelming context is mostly that you should see that short-term upside. So that's how I see it. I know that a lot of people like will probably watch this video and be like, "Oh my goodness, he's not calling for downside in the short term." So for those people, I mean, I guess technically you could say that, like, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, overall, yeah, I don't know. This thing looks good, guys. It does. I think it's finally like at a place where it's ready to like make a move, you know, and even if it's not like a long-term move, right? Like where, oh, now we're going to $200 or whatever. At least it's going to shift into a more bullish kind of like trajectory where you're going to see over the course of the next few weeks or months that that AMC is generally going to be on an uptrend. At least that's my opinion. That's how I see it. If I just look at the chart objectively, just look at it, of course. That's how I see it. So yeah, hopefully you gained something from the video. Hopefully you enjoyed. And I'm gonna go to bed now. After I make my thumbnail and get this thing uploaded and everything like that. And go follow me on Twitter. And I have a free Discord down in the description down below. It's really late. I should go to bed. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. And until next time. Oh, by the way, I'm moving my office in my house to, like, we're swapping my office with the kids' room. So, like, our house is basically upside down right now. We have furniture everywhere, blah, 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 because you know how that goes. Like, you got to move the kids' beds and, well, anyway. So that's going to be a process. It's going to happen over the course of the next few days. So I might not do, like, formal technical updates, or maybe I'll try and do them from my laptop or something like that. I'll have to figure that out. Because my PC, I'll probably have it disconnected and everything in that time. So maybe I'll just upload phone videos where I just talk through the price action in relation to this video. I feel like $50. Oh yeah, we didn't talk about the main indicator that I was talking about, the Gherkinate future cycle. So basically, this guy created this future cycle. He did it based on GME. But if you look, basically it's just the future cycle, and the yellow represents when the futures roll over. And you can see that now. So this one, after the yellow, you had a downtrend. But other than that, the yellow has represented upside for AMC. You can see here and here and here. This might not be loud enough for you to see, huh? Let me draw these. And I think that John also said at KennyG_ lied on Twitter. I think that he also mentioned something about how AMC was in a downtrend whenever it did go down. And right now it's in a general uptrend. So every time it's done this while it was in a... Okay, maybe I can just delete this now and just draw these, okay? So yellow, up. Yellow, up. Yellow, up. This is the type of analysis that you come here for, right? Yellow, up. Yellow, up. That's what I like to see. Anyway, yeah, so he was saying basically as long as it's in an uptrend, it generally goes up. Because you can see here, well, actually, even back here, you see yellow up. Yellow up. Yellow down. Now this, I would say, maybe you would say this is an uptrend? Or is it generally a downtrend? Maybe, I don't know. Whatever. I could be looking for confirmation bias back here. But I mean, this is pretty clear here. Like, in this general history, since the run to $20 in January, we've seen up after yellow. That is the type of analysis that you're looking for. Oh, man, how exciting. So that's kind of my thesis. It's not a prediction. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I don't care. Don't say that I was trying to predict the future, though. That's weird. Don't buy or sell based on anything that I do in this video alone. Make sure you're doing your own research. You're informing yourself as much as possible before you make these sorts of financial decisions. But yeah, I think overall you're in a pretty good place. I feel like the pressure is up. I know that also that guy Option Drops on Twitter. I can't think of his YouTube channel offhand, but he was showing the on balance volume, which is a good point because I did bring this up on my channel the other day. I just noticed on his channel that he brought it up as well. He probably was talking about it before me. Don't think that I'm trying to say like he took it from me. I don't think that at all. It's just an indicator. But he probably uses it all the time. But anyway, you're seeing this general uptrend in on balance volume, while you're seeing a general downtrend in price, which is usually a sign of accumulation. So these things sort of line up. Also, accumulation, distribution. John, again, who is at KennyG_ lied on Twitter, also did show that it appears that the accumulation and distribution indicator, sorry, I'm tired, my brain's not working, seems to be winding up here and coming to a point as well. So I feel like some sort of big move is coming here in the short term. Now, how big? I don't know, but I do think that like long term, what I'm looking for from AMC, like from a price target perspective, is based on these fib extensions, at least in the next wave, right? So like this isn't referring to any sort of MOAS situation or anything like that. I don't know exactly how this would play out. But using my fib extension tool, where basically I just measure from the bottom of a move to the top of a move and then back down to the bottom of the next move. These are the sorts of price targets that I think you could see. You could see these explosive moves up to the $132 or $200 or $260 ranges. It just depends on how overheated the stock gets. We know that the stock has a big retail presence and has a lot of people that are going to be willing to FOMO into it as soon as it starts getting some media coverage again. And just to show you how reliable this tool is, if you would have done it to the run on January to try and predict the move in June, you would have predicted it pretty well with the 3.618 Fibonacci extension level, which is $70.77. I think it closed like the highest it went was like $72. So yeah, you would have did all right. I mean, obviously you wouldn't have known that it was going to go all the way up there, but you know, these points are kind of just key supports and resistances along the way on your move up. So yeah, there you have it. That's the video. I know I probably overextended this a little bit for those curious, just because I got curious here. Maybe your wave 3 can get you a move up. There you go, $54.71 maybe. 1618. I could see it. That would be your sign of strength, and then maybe you come back down, you consolidate above this $48 level for a little bit, and then boop, maybe you have your next move up. All right, I'm kind of excited. I like the chart, guys. It's been a while since I looked at AMC, so this is a good video. Yeah, hopefully you enjoyed the video. Thank you so much. You guys have a good night. Bye. Or, well, you're not going to see this in the night. So have a good morning. Watch this before the market opens or something if you're up. All right, peace. Later. This is the end of the video. Why would you... You're like, dude, I've already watched it. Like, you're telling me at the end to watch it now? What the hell? All right, bye.